What's up, guys? Black Rose Duelist here, and I was gonna make a Spyral deck list video today, but instead I decided to just talk about the support and release the deck list tomorrow, explain a lot of the cards and the plays and stuff like that. So the new support of the Spyral deck, in one word, I would say, is a little underwhelming. Underwhelming, okay? Not even a little underwhelming, it's underwhelming. Because I think a lot of us went into Spyrals thinking that it was going to be the next hit TCG deck. It just really had that whole just look to it. Okay, so the last 2 years we had Burning Abyss and we had Cosmo. Two huge decks, both either number one at some point or definitely in the top three the whole format that it was in, even more formats afterwards. So even Burning Abyss is still one of the, if not one of the best decks right now, is PK Fire, which is Burning Abyss. So I just think a lot of us thought this new TCG deck would follow in the footsteps of Burning Abyss or Cosmo and be really, really overpowered. And I think Spyral, compared to Subterra, really had that idea because usually the bulkier, bigger, higher level deck is the bad one, and then the lower level deck is better. So you have Burning Abyss, which are all like level 3s, and you can special summon them quick. Cosmo, yeah, they have the big ships, but they allow the level 3s, level 2s, level 4s, the psychics that would just summon themselves, banish, special summon. They're a lot faster, they're quicker, they have lower leveled monsters. Meanwhile, you look at the UA, Ultra Athletes, and you also have Kaiju, which are both really high-leveled, kind of slower decks that really depend on your opponent's plays, which is the same exact thing that Subterra is. Subterra is a flip deck. Flip effects, yes, you can manipulate them on your own. A lot of the times, they depend on your opponent and what they do, because they attack into the flipped monsters that are face down, and stuff like that, and it really depends on your opponent's pace. Same thing with Kaijus, it depends on your opponent's cards they have to tribute. Same thing with UA, they kind of focused on negating effects and attacking over your opponent's monsters. So I really thought, and Subterras are high level just like UA and Kaiju, so I just really felt like Subterra would be the Kaiju or the UA, and I thought that Spyral would be the Cosmo or the Burning Abyss. And the Spyral cards we got before this in the first set were pretty strong. You have Quick Fix, which is a card whenever it's summoned, you get to add a Spyral gear from your deck. Okay? You get to add a card from your deck whenever this card is summoned, kind of like Stratos. And the fact that it's a level 1 machine that works with machine duplication, the fact that you can summon this, search a card, machine dupe, special summon 2 more, search 2 more cards, then exceed for a rank 1, that's pretty ridiculous on its own right. Then you also have the second effect of Quick Fix, which is when it's in the graveyard, you can discard a card to special summon it if you have a super agent on the field. That's pretty ridiculous. Okay, that's, if you really think about it, I'm sorry to all the hero players, it's a better Stratos and it's at 3 and you can abuse it at 3. Even almost more than you can Stratos in a way, because of machine dupe and all that. So that's kind of crazy. Next you have Super Agent, which is pretty good in its own right. This is kind of the downfall of the deck, in my opinion. I think that the whole deck really focuses on Super Agent, kills it. Because Super Agent is not a bad card, it's not a great card. Having to rely on what your opponent's top card is kind of making your main card rely on luck a lot of the times is really not that great. But the fact that you can manipulate the cards on your opponent's top of their deck with Spyral Gear Drone, it really helps it, but not every time you have Super Agent, you also have a drone that you normal summon. It just isn't always that convenient. But when it is special summoned by a Spyral card, you destroy a spell or trap, right? And it's 1900, it's a level 4. But I really think that's the downfall of the deck. The fact that it is the main focus of the deck is a 1900 level 4 monster with not that great of effect. So, sorry, I've been talking about the old cards more than the new cards. And then finally, the drone manipulates the top 3 cards of your opponent's decks, tributes itself to make the Spyral monsters gain a significant amount a significant amount of attack depending on the cards your opponent has on their field. Again, seeing the same thing, depending on your opponent, how many cards they have on their field, depending on the cards on the top of their deck. Just feels like it would work more with, maybe Spyral does kind of fit that then. Because, like Kaiju, like UA, it depends on your opponent's cards, too. I mean, yeah, some Terrors do, too, but maybe I might change my mind on that. And then Big Red, which is a even better premature burial, especially when they Spiral, can't die by battle. You don't have to pay anything. When it dies, it doesn't die. So it kind of crazy right there. So really look at that, seeing that you have a better Stratos, a better premature burial, a decent 1900 attacking level 4 monster. You really would think this would be the star deck of the format. Then we get this support, and the deck kind of goes in 5 different directions at once. And that's what's really annoying. You have like 4 different archetypes in this one archetype. You have Spyral Super Agent. You have Spyral Gears. You have Spyral Quick Fix. You have Spyral Master Plan. You have Spyral Resort. You have Spyral Assault. Spyral Mission sub-archetype. You have Charming Resort Staff, which isn't even a Spyral monster. I feel like this support, even though it is kind of beneficial, it really ruins the momentum that this deck had, in my opinion. I don't see a way where this really works out, because now you have Quick Fix, which searches a Spyral Gear monster. None of the new cards we got were Spyral Gear monsters. So it's like, Quick Fix doesn't even work with half the deck. You have Master Plan that can only add Spyral Missions from your deck. There's only one Spyral Mission card, and it's not even that good. It can't search any Spyral cards but that one card. You have Spyral Gear Drone, which is a Spyral Gear, so you can't search it from all the other things. Okay, so the only redeemable quality that these new support cards have is Spyral Resort, which is probably the best field spell that has been released in a while. Your opponent can't target Spyral cards you control besides this. Once per turn, you can add a Spyral from your deck to your hand. Now that's ridiculous. Once per turn during your end phase, shuffle a monster from your graveyard into the deck or destroy this card. Okay, that might sound like, okay, I always need a monster in my graveyard. But if you think about that, if you play Instant Fusion, you can play 2 or 3 Instant Fusions, because Norden can keep recycling itself in the, it can go back to the extra deck. If you play the Brilliant Fusion build like I do, it really helps because you send the Garnet to the graveyard. You can recycle Garnet, so you can make sure you always have the Gem Knight in your deck. So it really does help. You can recycle hand traps. It's more beneficial than it is a requirement or a maintenance effect, if you know what I mean. But yeah, the fact you can add a Spyral every single turn and then also add cards from your deck back to your deck, from your graveyard back to your deck, that's pretty good. But you look at this other support. Spyral Master Plan is a level 7 monster. There's no real good way to special summon it. You have the ability to send it from your hand to your graveyard with Quick Fix, and then summoning it with Big Red. But that's just kind of a lot of stuff right there. I mean, you need a Quick Fix in your graveyard, you need a Master Plan in your hand, you need a Big Red in your hand. It just seems like kind of a lot. It's not that bad because you get to search with Spyral Quick Fix, but it just feels like summoning this thing, it's only 1200 attack. It's a level 7 that's 1200. And all it does is search the Spyral Mission card, which isn't that good. And when it dies, you just search stuff, but it could be banished too, and then there goes that, you know what I mean? So that card is eh. Charming Resort Staff could have been pretty great under 2 conditions. Hand Trap or been a Spyral card. It's not a Spyral card. You can't search it with any of this stuff. It doesn't work with any of the Spyral effects. You can't search it with the Spyral Resort. Its graveyard effect is decent when a Spyral Super Agent. Again, It has to be a Spyral Super Agent, not another Spyral monster, and that's the downfall of this deck. If a Spyral Super Agent is declaring an attack or attacking, the opponent's monster becomes 0. But that's only for Spyral Super Agent, not any other Spyral. So you need to work with the Super Agent. Then also when Super Agent dies, you get to add Super Agent back to your hand. That's only for Super Agent. This card's effect only applies to this one other card. You don't always have the ability to have Super Agent on the field or hand. So this card is always dead when you don't have a Super Agent on the field or in your hand. Yes, when it dies, you can summon it from your deck. But besides that, it's like seriously not, it's not a hand trap either, so you have to normal summon it. And can't they just attack it? Like, they're not going to attack your Super Agent if you have Charming Staff right there, or Resort Staff. So I don't really like her. I mean, it's not much better than a, like, giant rat. When it dies, you can summon it. Like, it's not that extravagant. And then the Assault is really bad. During this card, destroy this card on the 3rd end phase after activation. This wasn't even really necessary. I guess you want this thing in the graveyard. Once per turn, if a Spyral monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle or destroys a card on the field with the Spyral monster's effect, you can draw 1 card. It's only once per turn. If a Spyral monster destroys an opponent's card by battle or by effect. Your Super Agent's 1900. Your level 7 girl, she's 1200. I mean, you're going to run over monsters here and there, but to make this a effect, I mean, you'll probably only get at most 2 cards drawn from this. I don't know, and I see, like, on average, you're going to draw 1 card from this. Then the second effect is you can banish this from the graveyard, summon a Spyral from your hand. Now, if it was summon a Spyral Super Agent from your deck, or even better, a Spyral from your deck, I wouldn't imagine that. But a Super Spyral Agent from your deck, that'd be great. But literally, the only reason Assault is in the deck is to summon Master Plan, which is dead. There's so many dead cards, Master Plan, Assault. I don't think they're really that useful. I don't think Resort Staff is that useful. I think, like, all this new support besides Resort is not, like, cards that you will take out once more support comes out. Like, a lot of this just seems useless. I think Master Plan is not that great. I think Assault is bad. I think Charming Resort Staff is sadly misused and ruined. That is because it isn't a Spyral and it isn't a hand trap. So you're looking at Resort being the only card that really helped the deck this set of cards. So maybe Subterror is the better one. Because by now, we had Burning Lake, or Fire Lake. We had the Synchro guy, Virgil. We had Dante. We had Skarm, Sir, Seer, Graph. You know what I mean, sorry. That Burning Mist were already good by now. In Cosmo, you had Dark Destroyer by the second set. You had Dark Lady. I'm sorry, the Wicked Witch Lady. I forgot. The one that's level 4 that you pay 1,000 doesn't die. Just not that good. So we're going to see where this goes. Hopefully Subterror is the good deck now because this isn't showing its potential as I thought it would. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.